And we're live. Welcome to the Mayor's Update, downtown St. Thomas. I'm back from LA. The mayor is still here representing the city. And we're on the Caps Off patio, which is fantastic.
You went to California to come back and do the mayor's update on the cold patio at Caps Off.
There's no better patio.
No, we know that. But so you were speaking with a California accent. You seem to have lost it.
Well, it comes and goes. I'm half American, so it's what it is. I'm a Canadian down there. I'm American here.
We're sorry we couldn't do mayor's update last week because Graydon was away doing a couple shows in California, and the mayor doesn't know how to push the right buttons to make the show work.
But I hear you can push a lot of buttons, and you're really good at it, but not these ones.
They're different buttons. Then that's really getting things done. You get the show on time, and we get the right questions from people. So it's great to be back with you here, right in downtown St. Thomas. I wandered over to Caps Off after the city hall today and ran into Graydon and said, "Let's do it on the patio. We don't have to go home. We can sit and have a beverage while we do the mayor's update."
And you may notice we have our faces on our beverage containers because that's what they do here.
Part of the cup.
That's part of the members club.
Right. Yeah. And Mayor's Joe on the
And it's artwork by Denny Gauthier, a fantastic musician and artist. He's also here tonight.
Happens to be inside tonight, but doesn't have any questions for the mayor, so he's staying in there. We're talking about us while we're out here. Right?
Speaking of questions, we have some really good trivia questions for you guys tonight. So I'm going to pull up the chat feature here, and the first person to answer the questions win the prizes. What was the first one?
The first one was the day and month that Caps Off opened here in St. Thomas.
That's right.
And there's a great prize for that. The mayor is modeling the Caps Off toque. Right?
Beautiful toque.
Right? Yep.
Caps Off is some of the best merchandise in St. Thomas. I own almost half of it.
Yeah, I do own a lot of Caps Off. I'm wearing a Wendy's coat. I had a Caps Off sweatshirt I was going to wear out here tonight. And the second question was the mayor likes a certain brand of Caps Off brew, right? And he complains when it's not one of the 6 that's on there, although all 6 beers at Caps Off are usually quite good.
They're always good. Every beer is good.
Can you name the mayor's favorite?
The mayor's favorite beer. So I'm going to type these into the comments here.
Yep, go ahead.
And then if you want to talk a little bit about what the city's been up to.
Yes, certainly. We're coming out of winter, and it's been one of those be ready for a snowstorm, but in the meantime, start cleaning up. Right? And so we've had city crews in the downtown doing some cleanup. We've had city crews at the ready on the sidewalk plowing or snowfall plowing in case it's needed. And we'll have the one of the things at council this week we voted on was the money for a new street sweeper. So we'll have 2 this year to go into the spring to start cleaning up your streets in your neighborhood. So it's that time of year where you don't know when you wake up what it's going to do the next day. So we're pretty happy to be ready to do it. We've spent a lot of time talking this year about how great the roads crew has been, or the outside crew has been, and we'll continue to do that. So that's a really good start to March. It's March 10th today, and we're not quite to spring yet, but we will be shortly. And even after we meet March 21st, we still have the chance of there being snowfall. We just now know, it's just my personal thing, that once you get to the 1st of March, it can't hurt you. It may fall, but it'll melt away within a day or two. So.
And I was talking to some folks about this, and they said April is about the last month that there will be snow in St. Thomas. Is that about right?
No, and oftentimes we may not even get any in April, or you might see some flurries, but it won't be much on the ground. But there is the possibility of getting a snowfall. So we have to be ready for both.
Yeah.
And we are. But in the interim, the same guys that drive the snowplow trucks are out there when they're not shoveling snow. They're out there filling in potholes. That makes a difference.
That makes And as you can hear, we're live here on the patio, and everybody here is chatting and talking, having a great time. And there was another really cool story that came out while I was away, which is about the Ukrainian flag.
Yes, we've told that story a couple of times, but let's tell it again. A young lad named Darian, who's a good friend of ours, who came to work with me on Bring Your Son to Work Day. And he's not my son, but he wanted to come to work. So that's how I got to know Darian here in the city. And he messaged me, and he's done a number of things since, whether it's the drive-by market and some other stuff. But he called me at 10 after 4 on last Friday with the start of the Ukrainian, so it was 2 Fridays ago. At 10 after 4, he messaged me and said, can we put up a Ukrainian flag? Some other cities had. And I said, what a great idea. So who would you call if you're the mayor? I called Steve Peters, right? Because both Ukrainian and part of our council. I said, Steve, would you happen to know anybody in town that has a Ukrainian flag? He said, just put one up in my backyard. I said, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but the mayor's ordering you to take it down and bring it to City Hall because we need one for the flagpole. We have since replaced Steve's a flag, but he ran over to City Hall. I, in the interim, told Darian, look, it's on the go. Let me see what I can do. And then called Heather in my office and said, hey, let's get the person with the key to the flagpole because none of this happens if we can't find Tim or somebody at City Hall who can put the flag up. Sure enough, by 20 after 4, the flag's up flying, and our new city manager, Sandra Despair, and Steve had gone out there and got the flag up. Can't do better than this. This is in a community that has a great Ukrainian heritage. For us to, in a minute's notice, say this is possible. It's not a ceremony. Let's just do it. And so we get it done.
That's the thing. That's our. I think that should almost be our second motto. Maybe our first is like in St. Thomas, we just get her done.
Right. And then we'll talk about that afterwards. Well, remember now, secondary to that, we also, whenever we do a proclamation on the front steps or a flag raising, we light up jumbo in the colors of the charity. Right. So within 5 minutes of putting the flag up, somebody had asked, well, are we doing jumbo? Blue and yellow to match the Ukrainian colors. Sure. But within an hour or so, apparently it takes the permission of the mayor to do this. Who knew? I'm the mayor. Who knew? And so we got it done. And since then, the jumbo has been lit up too. So that's how we do it in St. Thomas. It's not, right? It doesn't take a whole lot of city staff. The mayor and a councillor and a city manager said, we can get this done. Let's do it. So thanks, Darian.
Cheers to that.
Yes.
All right. So we have to say congratulations to Tara. She has won the toque for knowing when Caps Off opened.
How did Tara know that? Because I come here a lot and there's no sign saying when they open. Right?
It's kind of a trick question because like they opened in April, but they didn't have their grand opening until several months later.
No, many of us found the place before then.
Well,
that's perfect. So Tara's won the toque.
Tara's won the toque.
Okay, so what's the guess on the mayor's
favorite
brew?
The mayor's favorite brew. A $10 certificate, 2 Caps Off. You can come on down here. You can enjoy the patio, the inside, and the lovely brews that they have right here every day.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite places because it's in the backyard of City Hall. So the mayor stops in to see friends and gets the feeling of the city from the people at Caps Off. So it's a great place to leave messages for the mayor too.
So you can just like tack them on the board and then the mayor will get the message.
And I get that also at the Wendy's.
Yeah.
I go in and say, Pete called for you and here's his message. Okay, thank you. They know where to find me at least. I guess that's the transparency of people knowing what you do for a living in town. So you can visit the mayor at Caps Off, usually Wednesdays, Thursdays. I'll drop by one of those days after work from City Hall. So,
So what's coming up in the city over the next several months?
Well, look, let's be really happy with some of the clearing of COVID. Right, we've seen some really good changes to the number of people that can be meeting, the what we can do indoors and outdoors. And also looks like March 21st, we're dropping the masking requirement, certainly for indoors, and that's been in place still. But really, we're heading into that spring and summer where we're all outdoors anyway, so it's a much safer time from a COVID point of view. And so those types of things are coming up. We had a special events committee last week that we talked about what else can happen, where are we headed. And there's another one coming up because we were still in this. Well, the health unit won't yet allow us to go more than a month forward. Right? It's great. I'm okay with the community safety piece.
Okay, Tara's just got the second prize as well, the $10 certificate, stovepipe stout.
Way to go! Is Tara following?
We've got a flag.
All right, great. We got the Ukrainian
Ukrainian flag
behind us.
We'll represent. You know,
Excellent.
War is a horrible thing, and no one should be practicing it.
But it is great with the Ukrainian diaspora here in St. Thomas. There's a number of people of Ukrainian heritage, so we really did talk a lot about what it means here. People here living in our city know people who are under great duress in Ukraine right now, and we want to make sure that we bring at least that awareness that here in St. Thomas we're talking about it, and certainly gathering funds and things that we can do to help with the Ukraine. But we want to talk. Right, we want the awareness to be there, and that's part of what the citizenry of St. Thomas has done for us. And so, somebody asked, well, what's the purpose of hanging a flag? Well, it's to bring awareness. Others say, why is that flag up there? What's happening? And that's what's happening. That we're gathering together to say a wrong is being committed, and we want to do something about it, or at least bring awareness to it here in St. Thomas. Excellent. Trying to read Tara. I still don't get that she knew the date and knew what the mayor.
She's got it. Tara is on top of it.
Yeah, excellent. Good job. Excellent.
Oh, and Wesley Shaw, congrats to the Icebox on winning the pitch last night. Absolutely.
Yes.
It's incredible. $25,000 in cash and kind.
Does that ever help a small business moving forward?
Yeah.
And great business in St. Thomas. If you've not been to the to the Icebox, go.
Yeah.
Right. We've got a number of great businesses in town, and we like to recognize some that we love. But there is a plethora of new businesses in town that really need to be recognized. And the pitch last night had a number of them on it.
So many.
Yeah.
No, there were 5 finalists. Unfortunately, one of them wasn't able to make it, so there were 4. Shout out to every single person that was there doing that, because if you got to that finalist stage, you've got a really great concept. They picked you, and it's going to succeed regardless. You just get a little boost if you win.
But this is the local part of. You're already a successful business in our community, or at least a successful startup. But we want the rest of the people in town to know you're there. Right? Sometimes there isn't a real way to just fly your own flag, apparently. So letting businesses like Icebox last night talk about what they're good at is a way of pitching. That's why it's called the pitch, right? Right. And so way to go. This is our own version of pitching your business to the whole community. And the reward maybe isn't the prize. And there's, as you said, 3 other great businesses there last night too. The prize to them may not be the first place prize, but it's the customers visiting them. People in St. Thomas did not know what they did or why they're there. Right? So that's why we hold great, our EDC and the EBRC, the 2 economic development agencies in town, both do a great job of letting those startup businesses know.
We have some of the best staff in those organizations. I would have to say probably in the province, maybe the country. Like, they get out there and they fight for the people to get the funding and the money they need to do what they need to do to succeed.
Well, if I can say it this way, as the mayor, when I first became the mayor, and even before that as the member of parliament or a business person in this town, you always thought that the EBRC or the EDC were the companies who went out and got the great big businesses, great big industries to come to your community. Hey, still want those? Sean and his team do that. Yep, Sean and his team do that in spades still too. But we often said, what about the startup shoe store, the startup clothing company, and our EDC does a great job of not putting down any other city, but better than others at enforcing what you already have in your community, keeping them here and keeping them busy, and attracting new commercial enterprises, rather than look at a 400-person factory as a big win when you get it, but it's few and far between. So let's work on what we can already do in our community with the space we have and the people we have. So that's what last night was about.
Absolutely. And a shout out to Jane Patrickin as well. She did a phenomenal job on her presentation, and she has a refillery. If you haven't heard about it, you need to check it out. It's at Simply Pure Water, which is on Wellington and Princess. And waste is one of the things we fight in our world. You look at the oceans, they're full of plastic. So what she's doing is she's started a refillery, which gets rid of all that. You take your container, you get it filled with whatever you need, whether it's
and we were doing that with jugs of water, and nobody thought anything else. But she's doing it with cleaning supplies and other things. Go
Yeah.
get it. Take your own container, get it refilled, and it's what a great concept. But also a great place to get your water.
Yeah, do both.
Yeah.
All the things.
It's just been, look, this has been a weird 2 years from a COVID point of view. What happened in our
Yep.
community with our businesses. So let's look at the positive side of what growth has happened.
Mhm.
Look, we're going to come out of this flying, and I expect because it's spring and summer, we're all going to want to come out and go see places we haven't seen. That's a given. But even as the mayor, I better be careful. All right?
You have to be.
Let's not have more than 10 people on the front step doing a flag raising. Let's
Yep.
not do what we can't do. Right? So, we're opening up a little, folks. Be careful out there, but we're opening up, and this is what happens. We discover the businesses that have all of a sudden settled on Talbot Street or elsewhere in St. Thomas. Have you been near the Talbot and First intersection? Holy
Things are
cow,
happening.
they are growing a lot of businesses over there.
And speaking of that, I heard there's apartment complexes coming in.
The site plan meeting is this coming week,
Yeah.
right? And I don't see any real negative to it. They're going to build. They want to get approval of the first building, which is 14 stories, 167 units.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're in a housing crisis, folks. So when somebody wants to come to our community and build a big building like that, let's say yes.
100%.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why we wouldn't want to do that? Nobody can. So the site plan is this week. We'll make sure we build a safe and good building. And the thought is they can build up to 4 units of that size on that site.
That's
So this is
amazing.
the first one. So we've been, when we started talking 4 years ago about housing crisis in St. Thomas, we talked about how many units we would have to build a year to
Yeah.
make this happen, and that we hadn't looked at tall apartment buildings. We hadn't looked at market-based apartment buildings for a decade. Well, now we have, and look at what started in St. Thomas with the whole Elma site. What we're
Yeah.
talking about now at First and Talbot, and other what Doug Terry has done on Manor Road.
Yeah.
So we can now get to affordable housing if we can get to supply. Build another 167 and see what that does to the supply of housing in our community. That's what this council's been talking about. This mayor has been talking about. Let's get it done.
Yep.
Get it done. Oh, it's a new slogan.
Get her done.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Let's check the chat here. We've got some questions coming in. So,
All right.
yes, Emily Parsons Johnson's talking about the refillery. Absolutely.
Yeah, great.
MSM Fabric and Quilting opening downtown.
Well, yeah, open it up in downtown
Yeah.
in this block on Talbot Street. Fantastic. I put out a post about it on my site and the mayor's site
Yeah.
this week. And we'll just look at, if you've got a business in town and I haven't discovered it yet, toss me off a message. I mean, I'm happy to post it. We've got a lot of people here that we'd love to tell what's going on. But boy, there's people that are quite passionate about fabrics.
My mother's one of them.
Well, I posted this and one said, well, thank you for telling me, but now I'm going to go broke. I spend way too much on fabrics and stuff. And what a great way to be. Great.
Yeah.
We don't want you driving to London or Tilsonburg to get it. And that was what the other comments were saying. Perfect. Tell us what we need in St. Thomas. We'll try and attract that business. And when we attract that business, we'll tell you it's there.
Yeah.
Right? So please let us know. Right?
An
We're
art
growing.
supply store. That's my thing.
You want
If
an
someone-
art supply
I
store?
want an art supply. Someone who can open a business and I can buy paints right in St. Thomas as opposed to going to London or ordering online.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Request.
That's my
Who's
request.
out there that's listening? The mayor will help you. We'll let people. And we know there are some people out there that do part of that job, but we want a store that just does that.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it.
100%.
We've got spaces.
Let's fill them.
Yeah.
All right. What about the city? Anything else in the city that's coming up?
Look, it's been a pretty busy spring for us. We've got a lot of things we're looking at from, as you and I have talked in the past. We pass our budget early here in St. Thomas. It gives us an advantage of what we can do quicker than other communities. And we passed Monday night for our first major construction site, St. Anne's and whatever street near it. But we're out. We've got the great quote. We accepted the quote, and we'll find out afterwards that we'll come in on time and under budget because we got out there early.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to look for the ability to do those capital works. And yes, before someone mentions anything about potholes, yes, it's working. We talked 2 weeks ago about potholes on this show.
Yeah.
Said
South
call
Dale
our
line.
customer service, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be there to fix it. And we will, and we have been. We've been doing a very good job between snowfalls of that same group, getting a truck full of cold patch and getting out there and fixing them for now. We'll have to do better jobs as the summer comes, but that's what we need. That's why we do this transparency. It's why we have this conversation, so that our city staff just needs to know they're great. Just tell us what you want them to do, and we'll get them out there doing it.
And what's that line? That we've talked about this almost every single mayor's update.
Yeah.
What line? Who do they contact for anything related to the city?
Right. Well, www.stthomas.ca and go to customer service. And there's a form there for you to fill in, or phone the City Hall number, 519-631-1680, and hit extension 0 and say, I'm calling in about a pothole on my street, or I'm calling in to say how great the mayor is. No, you don't have to do that. But anything to do with the city that you'd like us to react to, you get it into that system, and then I can follow up when you message back. It was 3 weeks ago and it didn't happen, or what if it did that. Give us a chance. Posting it on Facebook is nothing but posting it on Facebook. So please go to customer service and let us know.
There you go. And that's the answer to most of the questions that everyone has about what's going on in St. Thomas or how to fix and change things.
Right.
Customer service.
Yep.
Go to the website, call them. There you go. That's the answer. And Steve Peters has just mentioned about flying the flag, and we appreciate that he did.
Right. Was that Steve who brought the flag over?
I guess that was Steve. I didn't know who it was.
Thank you, Steve. I saw the flag, but this is the camaraderie of this council too. There are things that we will work to death on the details to make sure they're right. But when it comes down to it, we all really care about this community, and Steve's one of the ones that really contributes. And I know Steve is at Caps Off from time to time, but lives very close by. So he must have been watching Mayor's Update today, and so he brought his flag over.
I love it.
Thank you. That's I can't ask for a better friend and counselor.
Absolutely. So we have a question about housing, and there's more housing. We just talked about more housing coming into St. Thomas.
Yep.
The question is it going to be affordable?
It cannot be affordable till one or two things happen. The supply has to exceed the demand. We have to really continue to build. I met with Doug Terry this week. Great conversation with him. But all the builders in town are doing their best to build as many and as much as they can and add an affordability link to it. The other thing that happens from an affordable point of view is you let the city do some of it, like we've done with Indwell at the Rail City Loss, what Indwell is currently doing on the Queen Street property, and other buildings like that. Doug and I talked about Tiny Hope and what can happen with that. So the affordability has a bit of a city edge to it, but it is far more to do with us continuing to have the supply. We went for years without the supply of market-based rent, and now we're catching up, right? But it will take us over the next decade to really make it happen.
Absolutely.
We will not see affordability till there is not a rush for every apartment that's available. There's 10 people wanting it. We have to get past that.
Yeah, and that's going to take years.
Well, hopefully it will take years, but hopefully we modify it over the next two with this council that's really working on approving housing in our community, allowing tall buildings to be built.
Yep.
And when I mentioned we're building a building of that size at First and Talbot or wherever else we're building it, it doesn't mean we're stopping to build single family homes. There's still a market for them. People want them. So we'll let our builders build those, but we're also asking them, could you build single family homes with the ability for them to be accessorized? And that means another unit in one of those buildings. Right. Let's move forward that every house built could have a basement apartment or could have a granny suite garage or backyard.
Well, we've talked about this before. It's like when I was growing up and I was in university and in Toronto, like I was always living with a lot of other people. And that's how I afforded to do it.
Right.
And there seems to be this idea now.
I must live by myself in a great big house.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's not the case. Let's all work on this together. But it means us telling you that is available.
Yep.
You can do that now. We'll permit it now. Come into our building department. If you have a house where you think you can separate and you'd like to stay in your home, then let's build a basement apartment in your home. You stay in your home. Or it's really expensive for people to buy their first homes. Yes, it is. But what about if we build a home and let them rent out their basement while they make that payment in the beginning and get their own home? All of those things are available. We want it to happen. It's one of the areas that isn't happening fast enough is the accessory units in some of the homes we already have in St. Thomas. But we are talking to the builders to make sure they're building houses for us that in the future can be converted to those accessory units. All that will help a lot.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that are happening, and it's courtesy of the city and the Home Builders Association, who I've worked with and are absolutely phenomenal in terms of what they do and how much they give back to the community, in my opinion.
Now, if I can handle the question on subsidized,
Yep.
right? Well, we do. We still have in St. Thomas, probably in St. Thomas Elgin, because St. Thomas handles the housing, subsidized housing for all of Elgin, near 1,000 units, or the rent paid to a landlord on those 1,000 units, or geared to income housing.
Yep.
We have a lot, but I will tell you, we have a wait list that is miles long, and it shouldn't be. But what we're offering is we're in a boom time. Let's get the people to work.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, learning construction trades and other things, and that's a job that they could then afford. Something that's being built by one of our developers.
When I was in high school, trades was a dirty word.
Oh,
it's like you don't want to go to the trades, you want to go to university. I was like, no.
We can't. Our trades, our construction companies can't find enough, and they will train. This isn't, I need someone who already knows how to do it. And even in my business, we've been shouting out saying, you don't need to know. We will do the training side. What we need is the motivation that you're coming to work. So please come to work, and we'll pay you well, and we'll get you through this. And the construction trades and the other factories in town are all willing to do exactly the same thing. So the subsidized housing, we hope, can go away, or at least those lists shrink, because we've brought people on, right?
Amazing.
They know what they're doing, right?
So if you've heard this here, then please share it in the community and let everyone know.
Right.
That's why we're doing this. Okay. Well, I think we're getting to the end of the battery life on the laptop here.
Oh, then oh no, the mayor's going to fade into the darkness at Caps Off. Right? Let's say goodnight and remind you that Wednesday at 7:30 is our normal time. We recognize for the last 2 weeks, Graydon went to California. We don't know what caused it, but we're back on 7:30 Wednesday nights to tell you and share with you any question you have on the city operation or what's happening in your community. And if we know the answer, we'll share it with you. If we don't know the answer, we'll get it.
Yep, absolutely. And there was a question that came in about taxes and whether or not you'll be able to get your taxes done or help with your taxes at the library.
Question.
Yes.
It
is
Monday
happening.
to Friday. Contact the library through its website. So that's stthomaslibrary.ca, I believe. But they have a group of volunteers over there doing taxes, helping with taxes. There may be a wait, or you can make an appointment. But if you have a low income tax income or tax form to be done, they can do it in a snap. It's fairly easy. And I tell you, in Canada, having been the member of parliament, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is file your taxes, because there's a lot of benefits that automatically come to you because you have. So don't think, oh, I don't know anything. Don't do them. Please walk on down with your folder to the library and let them help you get it filed on time and in place. It will be a benefit to you. So please use the St. Thomas Library for that.
100%. All right, and with that, I want to say cheers to all of you viewers. Cheers to our sponsors. And thanks for joining us.
And a prize for someone.
For Tara. Tara got both prizes tonight.
Yes.
So congrats to Tara.
All right, thanks.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.
They will never ever pay for anything. No, that's